Internet. It's cabin time. It's about the middle of January here. We have about 18 or 20 inches of snow on the ground. I always wear my snowshoes when I'm walking the half-mile trail. They don't really help much right in the moment. The snow is too soft, but helps a lot with packing the trail down for future use. So it makes a big difference over the course of time. You might hear me panting because I'm pulling my sled full of stuff. And it's a pretty tough pull through fresh snow and uphill quite a bit too. But we'll get there. Yeah, and here we are. See, Cedar's starting to slow down a little bit already. She's tired from bounding through the snow, but she likes it. It looks like everything's just the way I left it last time. I'm going to get settled in here in a couple days. I've got my friends Mike and Chris coming up, and we're going to go on a ski into the Boundary Waters a ways, so be some video of that coming up later. I got the place opened up. Let's take a look inside. I always obsessively go straight for the thermometer in the winter. So 21 degrees inside and 15 out is pretty nice for this time of the year. A little warmer than average. Get the fire going and get settled in. So once the fire is going, it's always tempting to just sit down and take a break, but if you sit on the cold couch, all that cold just goes right into you, and you might start out warm, but you don't stay that way for very long. So fire's going and letting the cabin warm up, and I decided to go for a little snowshoe on a old trail close by and just kind of enjoy the solitude. A couple of pretty spots overlooking the lake. Here's one of them. And here's another overlook from the top of a hill. I'm actually on my way back toward the cabin now. So fire should be going good. It takes a while to warm up, but at least the stove will be throwing heat, so that'll feel good. So I've got a little project to take care of here today. There are always little projects to take care of around this place, but last time up I noticed that my charge controller for the solar panel on the sauna had failed. So this is the old one, and I've had it for about 7 years. Some really harsh conditions in the sauna, wild temperature swings and high humidity, so no surprise really that it died. Borrowed this one out of the bunkhouse where I'm not really using it right now to get my battery charged up because it was really low and didn't want it to freeze. And I was expecting to pay $80 to $100 or so for a decent MPPT controller, but I found this on Amazon. It's one of those brands where there are a bunch of different brands that all look the same, but the colors are different. Kind of suspiciously cheap, but I couldn't resist giving it a try. A lot of times I link to stuff that I use. I'm not going to do that, at least not until I've used this for a while, but got it up and running, and so far it's going good. If I get another 7 or 8 years out of it, I'll be pretty happy. Echo came to join me. She's not quite as enthusiastic about winter as I am, so a lot of times she gives me a head start to get the place warmed up. And I decided to try feeding the birds today. I keep seed in the feeder most of the time, but haven't taken time to sit down and try to hand feed them for quite a while, so I don't have any tame ones right now, kind of starting from zero. But there's chickadees and nuthatches around. There's a chickadee. That one's a white-breasted nuthatch. See, it looked a little different, and they're a little more timid. Hands got cold sitting here, so I just switched to foot feeding them off from my boots. I can do this for a while. My friends Chris and Mike came up, and we're going for a ski today up into the Boundary Waters. We try to do this at least once every winter. This area we're in right now is actually outside the Boundary Waters. It was logged probably 15 or so years ago, and following what's left of old logging road. I really like this route. We go through a bunch of different areas. It's really pretty, and it's almost no traffic at all. And here we're in an area that burned about 7 or 8 years ago. Helps a lot to have 3 of us so we can take turns breaking trail. Whoever's going first is doing a lot more work than the people after that. It's been a long haul for Cedar, by far the longest she's ever gone, but I think she'll be good for it. And here we're through the burn area and to a trail through some more dense stuff. We're getting close to our destination here. We're going to make it to a couple of lakes today. Oh, I hit a branch or something underneath the snow there. Almost face planted myself. I really like this more wooded section. I think it's super pretty. And we're almost, we're getting close to 6 miles in now, and this is one of the 2 lakes that we're going to. You can see here that the fire area that we were going through earlier burned up to one side of the lake, burned part of it, but not this side over here. No trouble with the focus. I guess the camera can't read my mind, but there's the burned side. It's kind of cool contrast. It used to look basically the same the whole way around. I've been back here lots of times over the years. This is actually one of the least used areas in the Boundary Waters, even in the summer. It's an area of small lakes that are hard to get to, so it wouldn't surprise me if no other person has been here for several months. It's kind of a cool feeling. This is the other lake that we're going to make it to today. And even in the winter, even when I'm coming up on a lake like this, I have the sensation of carrying a canoe across a long portage and finally getting to the end and being able to put it down and paddle again. If you've ever done that, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it probably sounds kind of ridiculous, but believe me, it's a good feeling to put the canoe down. This is a little bay. It's a decent sized lake, so you can see just a narrow mouth out to the main part of the lake, but we're just going to call it good here, just in the back of this bay for today. So we made it. Cedar looks ready for a rest, but I'll turn around and head back shortly. Skiing back's a lot faster and easier now that we've established a trail. We'll probably make it in, I imagine, about a third less time or so than it took us on the way in. And Cedar's back behind me now, so she's definitely getting tired when she's not out in front. But her spirits are high. Yeah, the sun's starting to set a little bit. It's dark by about 5 p.m. here at this time of the year, so there's Mike taking a rest. And we didn't get going until about 10 o'clock this morning. I'd say we'll be back right around dark, so it'll be about a 7-hour day with a few short breaks along the way. I'm back in the logged out area from the first part of this video. So it's nice that they left a few big pine trees in here. And now the trail to the cabin, and wasn't planning to be after dark, but always bring a headlamp. And you might notice that you don't hear my skis anymore. That's because I left them in the truck, and I'm hauling in a sled full of flooring to install in the cabin. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow. We'll see. See what kind of mood I'm in. Cedar caught a second wind as soon as we got back to the trail to the cabin, so it'll be almost a 12-mile day, but looks like she's up to the task. So I checked my camera and saw we had a fox come through a little bit before we got back. I used to have one that must have denned nearby. I saw it at the same time pretty much every day, but I haven't seen many of them lately. Hopefully this guy's around. I like them. That's going to be it for this time. Thanks for watching. As usual, I'm going to leave you with a little zen time here so that if you can't be in the woods, at least maybe you can pretend and get some of the feel for a little bit. It'll probably be a lot colder here for my next video.